3, 2, 1, go.
Bearded Kingface. Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
We the best of the best. Not too many top-notch podcasts left. We don't even need much time to prep. Never ever know what we gon' do next, but real recognize real, you see. So please tell me that you're feeling me, cause I can smell jealousy from a mile away, and there's no space for that on the show today. Might hurt a couple feelings, but so what? It'll be a good story to tell when we blow up. Try to shut us down, you gon' have no luck, cause we locked in and we tryna get the whole cut. So just vibe, look alive, pay homage, we arrive. We ain't going nowhere, so fall back. Legendary anthem like Left Eye and all that. Unpopular opinion, I'll swagger on a million. Immaculate civilians, adapting like chameleons. Be cautious in our dominion. Banks all around us on Vivian, taking off like balloons filled with helium. Got cheese and bread, Sicilian. Unpopular opinion, unpopular opinion, unpopular opinion, unpopular opinion, unpopular opinion, unpopular opinion. Keep it real with it. Yeah.
Yes. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whether you're listening on a podcast or on YouTube, welcome to Unpopular Opinion. I'm Jason Rivera. Alongside me, I got my friend Bo Benson. Say hello to the people, Bo.
What up, y'all?
We've got it was a pretty eventful weekend in sports, and in the NBA world, a pretty eventful week with that James Harden trade. What do you want to jump into first?
That James Harden trade was so funny. Like, that was, I think, the fastest I've ever seen something come together.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't think that James Harden trade was gonna happen. I thought the Rockets were definitely going to send him to either the Sixers or somewhere that he didn't really want to be for the best.
Well, like, you saw the report that the Sixers told Simmons to expect a trade, right?
I did not see that, but I did see what they offered and they denied.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the Sixers told Simmons and Matisse Thybulle's agent to expect trades, and that didn't happen. There's no way that Tillman Furtada or whatever his name is was gonna send Harden back to Morey. There's no way that was gonna happen.
I mean, I think that's silly though. Just for the
no,
fact
it is
that
stupid.
To let pride get in the way of grabbing a talent like Ben Simmons. Like, I don't know. Oladipo is a great player. I like Victor Oladipo, but Oladipo, Ben Simmons. I'm leaning Ben Simmons pretty heavy here.
And like, it's like that we're doing the same thing we did last year with the Lakers trade, where it's like, oh, look how many picks they got. One of those teams now has Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving. I don't think those first round picks are going to be shit.
You're getting a bunch of
30th, you're getting like
29
the 25th
pick in the draft.
Shut up.
Yeah, it's not
it's
they're
so
not
stupid.
Sam Presti over there. Like they're not collecting the right draft picks out here. So what we had obviously James Harden went to the Nets. We had Oladipo end up on the Rockets.
Finally, prayers for Karis LeVert, who apparently found a mass on his kidney.
I'm actually curious how that even, because wasn't it during his physical for the trade? So usually when there's something that happened, like once some abnormal event happens to the player during the physical, like they end up canceling the trade.
Yeah, I think that's just. I think that's just that's why they sweetened it up, because something like that, like a trade like that, you're not gonna just fucking pull the plug on entirely because Karis LeVert failed his physical. Like, you're that's not gonna happen. But I hate James Harden. I hate the way he plays basketball. I think it's the worst way you could possibly do it. But that guy is so much better at the media than fucking Paul George is. Like
Paul George needs to take a
Paul
class.
George just, dude, he just says the stupidest thing at the most inopportune times. Meanwhile, you've got James Harden out here lying, being like, I'm very unselfish. Like, he's just saying that with a straight face. Anybody will listen. That's whew, that takes some balls, man.
I think that Nets team is going well. I think they go straight to the finals. The only team that's like semi-equipped in the East to stop them is Milwaukee, but at the same time, I don't know. I
Yeah,
still don't trust playoff Giannis.
yeah. Giannis is in the same boat as Paul George for me right now. Like Paul is playing great in the regular season here, but I don't really
Yeah,
care until the playoffs. Like you don't.
right.
You can play as good as you want in the regular season. I don't
Yeah,
care.
regular
Like
season doesn't matter. I don't care if you had to put some respect on your name because of all of that.
you you feel so fucking slighted because everybody notices how you fucking fold when the games
Yeah,
start to
you
matter.
can.
Like
You got to show up in the playoffs. Like
yeah,
that's bottom line. But I
yeah,
definitely feel like these Nets, they're gonna be a problem. I don't think that the sharing the ball is going to be that big of a deal for them. Um, James Harden's playmaking ability
no,
is top notch. Last night he dropped like 16 or 17 assists in that game. I don't think
yeah. To go
yeah,
with like
I'm pretty sure
32.
he's going to average somewhere between 10 to 13 assists for like the rest of this
Yeah,
season playing with Durant and Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving is used to playing off ball as well, playing with LeBron James in Cleveland, and obviously Durant is used to. I mean, he had Russell Westbrook for the longest time, just
yeah. I
chucking.
mean,
So they're
my
gonna be good offensively. It's gonna be ridiculous.
yeah. No, they're gonna score a lot. They are not gonna play any defense
None.
whatsoever.
And I don't
But
know
like
why.
that's yeah.
We were talking pre-show. Like why would they add Jared Allen into the deal? That didn't really
Yeah. I
make
just
any.
I can't believe that Jared Allen was the key to
Yeah,
getting that deal done. Like I would have done everything in my power to keep him. But they'll get someone on the buyout market. They'll be okay.
but yeah. That
It'll be
that
fun.
perimeter
It'll be fun.
defense isn't looking that great.
I think that and this could be totally wrong and we'll see, but James Hart that trade to me seems a lot like Kyrie insurance because I don't think Brooklyn really has a total idea of what Kyrie
I
is
don't
doing
know. Who
anymore.
knows? Maybe
Not that
maybe
anybody
maybe that
does,
was all
yeah,
a
but
ploy just to not get traded in that deal. Who knows?
it could
Then
it
he just
could
made it
be.
seem like, look, no one wants to
Uh,
deal with Kyrie right now. Just leave him in Brooklyn. They're gonna implode, and
yeah,
then he just
please.
comes back, and all of a sudden he thinks the world is round, and
No longer burning sage
yeah,
before the
he just
games.
flips the script. It's the
Yeah,
ultimate coup.
yeah. It's whatever. Harden, he's got much like the other guys. He's got to do it in the playoffs. The Rockets gave him everything he could ever ask for, and they consistently came up
They did.
short. So
As far as I mean, he has had a few terrible playoff performances, but even in that series, the series when CP3 got hurt, he didn't really disappear the way people like think he did. He was making a lot of plays. He just wasn't putting the ball in the basket, and I think a lot of people that's what they expect from their star. It's kind of the same thing that LeBron James suffers from. Like everyone thinks that he needs to go shove the ball down everyone's throat in the last 2 minutes of the game, and that's not
yeah,
necessarily how it works. Especially someone who's like a playmaker, like James is. Both Jameses are. So, but he definitely there's something to be said for asking for these players, and they're not working out with you when you ask for them. Him and CP3 played beautifully together. Almost beat those Warriors if it wasn't for CP3's hamstring going out and an 0 for 27
yeah.
3-point
Oh, for
performance. You
27
would have
straight.
never
Yeah,
like no, that's like you have a
that's
2%
that's
chance of that
so
happening. Like
yeah.
run
Going
that
back,
back, you
going
know?
back to
Like
look at
run
that.
that back. Like why not? Like why did it not work? And I think that's on him.
Yeah, no, James Harden should not be devoid of any blame, and I think we're so quick nowadays to not blame players for their performances. Like it's always something with the
Yeah.
organization. But like,
Well, this
yeah,
is
no, I don't think that Daryl Morey was out there missing 27 straight 3-pointers like that. That wasn't him. Like that was you guys. That was your performance.
um as of late,
But
for the last few superstars that have like asked for a trade and wanted out, I think well, the only two that I feel like it had nothing to do with the organization itself was Durant going to the Warriors and Harden going to the Nets. Like neither one of them had to do that because their franchise was trash. It wasn't like LeBron James
yeah,
in Cleveland when he left. Like they were giving him his best players. His top three players he had on those Cleveland teams was Mo Williams, Delonte West, and a
uh,
washed up Shaquille
yeah, and
O'Neal,
then
washed up Antoine Jameson.
Anderson
Yeah,
Varejao was there
like
forever.
it
Yeah.
wasn't those situations. Do you think that they can stop the Lakers? Because I think you feel the same way. The Lakers are
No,
definitely
no, no.
the favorites to win it all.
Yeah, no, it's right now it should be the Lakers and then everybody else, right? Like they won the title and they somehow
Yeah,
got better. Like you don't do that. And like they know how to pace themselves in the regular season. They know what it takes to win now. So
they
uh
added
it should
two
be
six men of the year, like the
yeah,
runner up,
like
the winner and the runner up from last year.
Schroeder. They fucking added Dennis Schroeder for like the 28th pick and Danny Green. Like I don't ever want to hear about like I remember last summer when it was like Rob Pelinka doesn't know the
Oh,
salary cap and like
yo,
Rob
Rob
Pelinka doesn't know what
Palinka
he's
was
doing.
getting ripped. They were like when Magic left, they were like, now what's gonna happen?
It's like the best actual GM in the NBA. I don't want to hear it. So Presti gets all those picks. Now let's see what he does with those picks. But right now, in terms of adding value to his team, like there's no one that did it better than Rob Pelinka did this summer.
And everybody thought that that was a fail at the end of that offseason when they didn't get Kawhi and he kind of duped everybody and they picked up the scraps of Danny Green and a couple other players and everyone was like, "Well, Clippers are the best. They got the best end of the offseason. Palinka's trash."
After last year, you would think that after last year that people would learn that in the NBA, like talent matters almost as much as chemistry.
Mm.
But like, it's still like I don't know, man. When you have like Dennis Schroeder playing here for 2 weeks and he's like, I didn't think it would be this fun, and he wants to stay long term and
Oh, that's that LeBron
all
James
that.
factor.
Yeah,
That's
for
the
sure.
leadership.
Um, and that's honestly for the Nets. Like that's why I kind of don't want Kyrie to come back, right? Like Harden and KD have chemistry already. Obviously, like if you could trade Kyrie for some kind of defensive presence, like wouldn't you have to consider it?
Uh No, only because I think that well, first off, those first few games we've seen with Kyrie and Durant together, they looked pretty damn good together as well. And they seem to have a pretty good chemistry as far as their friendship goes and on the court. So, I mean, we're yet to see what it looks like with Kyrie Irving in there with Harden and Durant, but I feel like this is what Durant wanted. And I think
Yeah, that's
like
true.
I think Durant definitely, I mean, he can lead a team as well and he can keep people's egos in check and like make sure everyone's involved for the team. He's definitely not someone who's devoid of leadership. So,
Yeah, that's just three. I don't know. It's either gonna work spectacularly or it's just gonna blow up in everybody's face at some
they're
point. I don't
gonna
know.
be dominant, especially offensively. Like every game's gonna be like 163 to 157. But yeah, when it comes to playing couple of these teams out west, but specifically the Lakers, they have no one to stop Anthony Davis. And
No,
obviously
that's
no one can, on the
like
planet can stop LeBron James, to be honest.
no. The Nuggets are gonna kind of give them problems, I think, too. Just because Jokic, they run their entire offense through Jokic. And I mean, the Clippers, who knows? Like, Paul George is playing extremely well. We're gonna have to have a conversation in a couple weeks about Kawhi, I think, but that's for another day. But they have the perimeter defense to kind of give KD trouble. But also, like, man, Durant seems to be right back to where he was before.
Looks like he didn't take a break. Like, nothing
No.
happened. Like, he's...
No, yeah.
But I expected this. His game wasn't... He doesn't have an explosive game per se. Like, he's not the one jumping out the gym.
No, he doesn't rely on his athleticism.
He
that's
shoots
the key.
over you. He's got great footwork.
Yep.
And honestly, with his long strides and you having to defend that jump shot, he can catch you off guard and take it straight to the hoop. And he's pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the Achilles took any of his speed away, even from what we've seen so far. Like, he really looks the same. His game hasn't changed.
Yeah, and I'm glad that he went to the Nets because I've always liked Kevin Durant. So it's easy to root for him.
It's easy to root for him when he's not in a Warriors uniform.
Yeah, exactly. That was
partially why I was a little upset about him going there, because I was like, man, I like you. Why are you making me have to root against you?
Man, that was just that's going to be such an interesting blip in our time period. Like, there are still times where I forget that Kevin Durant played with the Warriors.
After they won 72 games, mind you.
God. And really, like, as soon as he signed that deal, you were just like, oh, there's no way they're losing.
73, yeah.
Yeah, they won 73 games. 73 and 9. Yeah.
That was wild.
Oh, dude.
But we did have... That's probably it on the basketball front. As far as
I know, let's get to what everybody wants to talk about, which is Brandon Staley, baby. Like, yeah, listening to reading or listening to the way the Rams talked about Brandon Staley, I don't know how you could be anything but excited. Like, all these fucking people online that are like, why wouldn't you hire an offensive head coach, or why won't you keep his same staff so that Herbert has continuity? Like, it's so weird to me that people treat these good quarterbacks like they're somehow going to be unable to adapt.
Justin Herbert isn't one of these bad quarterbacks that need to have that continuity. Like, yeah, especially because, like, the Chargers' offensive system, I don't know if anybody actually watched it last year, but it was just it would be 2 runs, like 1 off center and then 1 off tackle. And then it would be a third down throw where Herbert would have to improvise. That's a pretty familiar scheme.
Why do you want to keep that? That sucks. That sucks ass, dude.
I feel like we played in a scheme like that before.
Yeah, dude. 24 power, huh? How about that? Yeah, man. Like, just fuck, dude. If you're bringing someone from the Rams, don't you want to poach like some kind of offensive assistant from the Rams who very much run like the 49ers style offense?
What, as like one of his his offensive coordinator? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, why wouldn't you do that?
And I mean, we saw that Rams defense. It was nasty. Like, don't be fooled by their performance against MVP Aaron Rodgers,
which wasn't even bad. Like, that's the weird thing about that game, is that they were in it in the fourth quarter. It was a 1-score game in the fourth, but it's tough to win when your fucking best player, the best non-quarterback in football, can't play. Like, nobody would have been able to keep up with the Packers. Like, Aaron Rodgers, from what I watched of that game, like, Aaron Rodgers never hit the ground. He had the cleanest jersey I've ever seen. He might just wear that thing next week.
Didn't even have to wash it. Nothing. He just hung it in his locker.
There have been people trying to, like, trash Jalen Ramsey for, like, giving up passes to Devontae Adams, but, like, this is when I, like, don't care for stat sheet watchers. Like, if you actually watch the game, like, everything was underneath. Like, it wasn't like Adams was burning Ramsey on the outside and catching touchdowns. Like, it would be, a fucking wide receiver screen or a slant or something like that. Like, there's no defensive back in football that can stop that. So, yeah, Staley's exciting. Just got to bring in like modern offensive concepts. And like this whole idea that, you hire an offensive guy so that you're not changing offensive coordinators every year. Well, like if your offensive coordinator is doing a good enough job to get hired somewhere as a head coach, then I think that's a good thing because that probably means you're winning like 12 games. So I'm fine
You know
with
what I
that.
realized is pretty funny? We started off talking
Uh,
about the NFL and saying this is what everyone wanted to hear, and we started with the Chargers. Nobody
how dare
wanted to
you?
hear this, Bo. Nobody.
Yeah, I mean we can talk about Arthur Smith leaving the
Yeah,
Titans,
anyway,
but
so the divisional
I
playoffs
think that's
were
the same.
going on
That's
this
the same.
weekend.
The Bills, the Bills are the best team in football, right? Am I
uh,
crazy?
with Patrick Mahomes possibly not able to play next week for a concussion, you might be right.
You're they were a fucking Kyler Murray Hail Mary away from winning 12 games in a row. Like,
Uh,
I don't know.
Patrick Mahomes right now has he has that LeBron James, I'm not gonna bet against you until I see you lose thing going on. Like, uh,
Yeah.
healthy Patrick Mahomes and that loaded Chiefs offense, Andy Reid running it. They're, I think they can definitely make the Bills, you know, look regular again. But
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I like the Bills, man. I like them next week. It'll be interesting,
I
but
hope
I'm
I
glad they
hope
got
the Bills win.
Ravens.
I personally hope
Yeah,
the
no.
Bills win, but I don't think they will. I've seen Patrick Mahomes do too many crazy things. I'm pretty sure if he didn't get hurt in this game, the end score of that Chiefs Browns game, they would have won by 30. Like Patrick Mahomes
Oh
would have
yeah,
thrown like
probably.
4 touchdowns in the last like 7 minutes, and it would have been a wrap.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that's Patrick Mahomes.
no,
He's ridiculous.
yeah, no. It's yeah, and fucking good on the Browns, man. I the I don't know. People are so quick to try to like get jokes in or whatever, but like we live in a world where the Cleveland Browns went 11
And
and
won a
5
playoff game
and and won a playoff game
and
against
had
the
a good ass
Steelers,
game against the Chiefs.
completely outclassed them. And yeah, like they were in it against the Chiefs the
Yeah.
entire way through. Like, it's good for them,
Yeah,
man. Good for them.
I'm
Proud
happy.
of the
That's
Browns.
it's cool seeing them in there. Like I don't know, it's just like
Yeah.
it's nice to see, and I'm happy for Baker Mayfield. I've always been a fan, and he was getting dumped on for the last couple
No,
years.
Baker is much easier to like when his team
Yeah,
is winning.
I mean, when you have your face out in the spotlight with commercials and all that before you've done anything, I think it's silly when
Yeah.
people attack people for that, but it is what it is. You put your face out there, you're gonna get dumped on when things aren't going your way.
Yep. That's how it is in this
So
world.
yeah, it was cool to see the Browns. Like, congratulations to Cleveland. Like, you guys actually watched football past
No more.
Christmas weekend.
And it wasn't purely to see like how bad they would be so they
Yeah,
could draft
they're
somebody. Like it was meaningful football. Good for them, man.
on that NFC side
Uh,
though. Packers, Bucks.
well, hold on. This was probably the last game that Drew
Oh
Brees
yeah,
ever played.
I guess we have to
So,
give that some time.
yeah, let's get a quick gloss over his game
Oh
tonight.
God, over his game. I thought
He
you were
was
about to hit him with his career. Like, yeah.
he was 19 of 34 for 134 yards, 4 yard average, one touchdown, three interceptions for a 31.7
Yeah.
QBR and a 38.1 quarterback rating. Ladies and gentlemen, let's
Listen,
just
over the course of this season, I've been checking out his
you know
stat lines, and they've slowly been looking Peyton Manning end of the road-ish. Like,
Yeah, no, that's what a career for Drew Brees. Amazing
oh,
talent, all that jazz. But like sometimes you can tell when a guy is washed, and Drew Brees has looked washed for
2
like
years, yeah.
2
He
years
got
now.
bailed out last year with Michael Thomas going absolutely nutty. But
Yeah, but like watching that game today, there was just no zip
I
on
don't
his
think he
throws
even tried a
at
pass
all.
deep. The one deep pass they tried was Jameis Winston. That was the deepest pass
Yeah,
they even threw.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, just no velocity
Yeah,
whatsoever.
it's the
So
end of the road. But I mean,
yeah,
there was a lot of miles on that arm, and he put
yeah,
it to good use.
it's
I
just
remember when he hurt
uh,
that.
the good thing. The good thing is that Drew Brees can now retire and go do his true passion, which is visiting Guantanamo Bay and laughing at the prisoners. So congratulations, Drew, you did it, bud.
Oh man,
God,
he
I just
where's he?
fuck, man. The Saints and their fans are the biggest group of whiny people I have ever met in my fucking life, dude. Like everything is Goodell out to get them, and you know, no one likes us. They hate us because they ain't us. Blah blah blah. Like that, they're on 4 straight years of just crushing playoff exits. Like that's what you get, man. That's what you get for crying every time your fucking team loses a playoff game.
It is I kind of feel bad for him. I feel bad for Breeze. Can't go out like
Do
that.
you?
That many like he had there were a couple
Ah,
games
I
though.
mean,
A couple of those playoff games they got juiced. That kind of sucks. He got
interesting.
whooped today, but the what was it? The Rams game was the PI one, right? And
Yeah,
they
that
got a
was
little screwed on that.
that was probably pass interference, but you know, who cares? It's funny either way. Drew, they still got the ball back. They got the ball back in overtime, and Drew Brees threw an interception. So
Well, Drew Brees ends his career #1 in passing yards, although he will be surpassed next season by Tom Brady, of course.
yeah, that's
Past TDs,
that's
Tom Brady already smoked him because he missed a bunch of games this season.
yeah.
But
We're just gonna see like the next 10 years, like all these records are gonna start being held by guys that are already playing,
yeah,
currently playing. It's
you
just
know
how it's
what's
gonna go.
amazing though? Like Dan Marino is still top 10. The entire list of players in the top 10 for passing touchdowns are players that have played within the last 10 years, 10 to 15 years, and Dan Marino's the only one who was playing in the 90s and still on that list.
Yeah,
Like
dude,
that's yeah,
Marino was ahead
super
of his
ahead.
time.
Imagine if Marino was playing in the game like it is today. It'd be wild.
Oh
But
man.
speaking of those Saints and Drew Brees retiring, like what do you think their replacement is gonna be? They got Jameis Winston and they got Taysom Hill.
Yeah, I don't think their current I don't think next year's quarterback is on the roster right now, to
No,
be honest with you. Like no, I the Taysom Hill thing, I don't buy it at all. That doesn't make any sense to
I don't
me.
know. I think if it was any other coach, I feel like yes, Taysom Hill is someone who would get figured out extremely quickly. But Sean Payton is I mean, he's an offensive genius, and he has all kinds of tricks up his sleeve, and he can do a lot more crazy things with Taysom Hill than he could with Drew Brees, you know, like someone who just has to stand in the
Yeah.
pocket. So it kind of changes the dynamic of their offense, I think. And he could throw the rock, like, you know, he's not no running back.
Yeah. No, I mean, I would I wouldn't be shocked if Jameis Winston was the guy, but I don't know, like
Jameis
I
is who
think
I'm rooting
that
for. I think Jameis deserves a shot. He
yeah,
finally can see. He got that laser surgery. He's been
he
blind
got
for
that LASIK surgery,
his
yeah.
whole life. Didn't know it.
You know, yeah. spending his entire career just unable to
It
see.
made sense why he threw so many INTs.
Good for Jameis, man. I don't know. I've always wanted Jameis to do well, but yeah,
What was it? Oh,
just
when he was in college, it was the crab's leg thing, right? And then
yeah, the
he had
crab
another
leg, and
saying.
then
There was
the
something that he said.
I think it was something like yeah, he did something about like grabbing a chick by
Oh
grab a
no, that
girl
was
by the kitty or
was
something like
it?
that.
No, that sounds like
Or
a.
didn't he like jump on a table and do that?
Oh yeah, he wasn't
Yeah,
grabbing it. That's weird.
it
Yeah,
was something,
I
man. It
remember,
was
but
something.
yeah, I'm not gonna say it on the cast. But he
uh,
wanted it right in there.
yeah, that's right. That's right. That's what he said.
Oh man.
Oh, dude. Famous
But
Jameis, baby.
Bucks Packers. You got the GOAT statistically, and you've got the talent GOAT
Well, you've got the guy who's played long enough to get all the
and had,
records.
the coaches and
Yeah,
culture,
and then you've got the guy
the
that's
GOAT.
actually the greatest player of all time. Yeah. So that'll be fun, but like I I still can't get a read on the Packers, man. I don't know what they
I
are.
feel like we're headed for a collision course between the Chiefs and the Bucks. That's what I think. Um, Packers are kind of a team. I don't know. They've let me down a few times in the playoffs in recent years, and I can't ride their sail until I see it.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, I think I've got the Bills and the Chiefs. That's my official Super
Nice.
Bowl
You're gonna
pick.
change the rules up. Two AFC teams.
Oh my God,
Hey,
what
that
the
would be
fuck,
really
dude?
interesting if that's what happened. I
Yeah,
think
dude,
the
it's been a
only way
long
that
day.
would happen
I've
is
got
if
the
the entire Packers and Bucks teams got COVID and then they just couldn't
yeah, no,
play
edit,
for like a
edit,
month and they said,
edit that out. Edit that out. Edit that out. Fix that in post. No, I'm sorry. I've got the Bills and the Packers.
Bills Packers. That would be
Those are
that would
yeah.
be an attractive matchup.
That's actually, I mean, all four matchups are interesting at the very least.
I
Like
like new. I
it,
personally I like seeing someone new in there all the time. Like that's what makes me like
yeah,
feel
yeah.
good watching it. Like I don't like seeing the same team go all the time, but you're right. Even if the Chiefs go against the Packers, that'll be fun to watch. If the Chiefs go against the
Isn't
Bucks,
that like
fun.
isn't that like a rematch of like the first Super Bowl?
Chiefs Packers.
Chiefs Packers.
Might have to look that up.
Do let's do some crack research here. It is actually. Yeah, Super Bowl one was between the Chiefs and the Packers at the LA Memorial Coliseum.
And the Packers won that.
35
Do
to
we
10.
get a
Yeah.
repeat?
That'd be fun. That'd be fun. I don't know, man. I guess I'll be like one of those people that has to eat crow because I thought that Josh Allen was a disaster
So
pick.
did I. So
Like
did I.
I never I didn't there was nothing about his game and where he played that made me think that he was going to be any good in the
Then his
NFL.
first season,
But like
he was okay. Like he did a lot of running and
yeah,
he
yeah,
wasn't really passing very
he still had
well.
all the problems that
Yeah.
everybody thought he had in college in the NFL, but I don't know if it's uh what I've heard is that a lot of it is Jordan Palmer, the work that he's done with him. But he did the work, and it's fun to watch him play now. I'm a fan, so good job, Josh. Way to prove me and a lot of other people wrong. I don't know, man. This is like the first championship weekend in a long time that I'm excited
Yeah,
to see
there's
what
really no
happens.
one in the championship that I would be pissed off if they made it into the Super Bowl. And that's honestly a first in the last like 20 years.
And it was so huge for Green Bay to actually get that top seed. It's so much different, like knowing that everybody has to come play you in your
Especially in a
spot
place like Lambeau,
rather than
regardless of whether there
yeah,
aren't
rather
that many
than
fans there or not. Like,
oh dude, come on. Did you notice how they were not panning
yeah,
out of the crowd? It might as well have been no quarantining going on there or any of that shit. It was like
oh,
a
they
full
had it all
game.
stacked. Unfortunately, I was
Dude,
at
there were
work.
so
I
many
missed
fucking
it.
people. But yeah, Packers Bills would be cool. Bills, can you imagine like if it's Bills Bucks and like the first year that the Bills finally like are free
They
from the
have to play
Patriots,
Tom Brady.
they have to beat Tom Brady to win the Super Bowl. That would be fun. There's just storylines
Yeah,
everywhere, man. No matter what happens, you're gonna get a good story.
it's good. This has just been a good year of football outside of the Titans losing last weekend. But it's been a good year. It's
Man,
been good.
dude, it actually, it did exceed my expectations, to
I
be honest
also
with you.
expected it to be a little rougher than it was with COVID and stuff.
Yeah, no, I was kind of surprised. I mean, I think a lot of that stuff isn't going to show up until we get like a full view of the
Mhm.
season as a whole. Like road teams, I think had a winning record this year, which is
Oh, I think
insane.
across all sports right now, that's what's gonna happen. Like I think the Lakers
Yeah,
have a like they had the best start, like 7-0 start in franchise history on
yeah,
the
they're
road.
they're, unde- they're
And
undefeated
like
on
I'm
the
not
road right
trying to
now.
take anything away from them because I mean the teams they did play, I think they would have beat them regardless if there were people there or not. But the atmosphere is different, and especially with football, because especially with a team like the Seahawks, that 12th man, when you have all of those people yelling and screaming when you're trying to make calls at the line, it's a
Yeah,
whole different animal. And instead, it's like completely
you,
quiet.
dude, that's what changed everything for the Rams, man. Like Jared Goff couldn't hear the play call in between fucking 15,000 drunk white people saying "Go Pack, go." Like it was just too much. It's too
Yes, I
much.
don't know. We had more news in the NFL.
Yeah, this is the main event, right? This is what
Deshaun
everybody's here for.
Watson.
Again, I have to eat crow because I was telling friend of the show Scott Adams earlier this week that there's no fucking way that Deshaun Watson gets traded, and gotta say that's not looking that's not looking like it's gonna stand here.
Yeah, the only team I think that he could possibly go to that it makes sense for both teams, and it's gonna sound, if it happens, it's gonna be so crazy and kind of cool too, is if he gets traded to the Dolphins, because they could definitely flip him for Tua, and they could trade their pick. They could get their pick back because the Dolphins have their number 3 pick in this draft. And that's actually something that you can build on. And the Dolphins honestly were ready made to win this year. Like that defense was nasty. And Tua was great, but he was young and he wasn't willing to throw downfield and like for those strikes, which I think is why they started kind of doing that like ninth inning closing pitcher type deal with Fitzpatrick, which is kind of weird and unheard of. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't just let your young quarterback kind of get that experience at the end of games. Like, why not? But he's good. He's gonna be good, and why not go get your pick back, get him, and then swing to like go get the kid out of Alabama that won the Heisman, wide receiver, and now you've got your future for the next 10 years as long as you don't mess it up like you did with Deshaun and DeAndre Hopkins.
And yeah, well, Miami is reportedly his top destination, and really, Deshaun, the ball's in his court because he's got a no trade clause.
Oh,
So
okay.
uh, if he really wants out, then he's gonna get to determine where he goes. Miami's the obvious choice, uh, and I say this purely because this is what I wouldn't mind seeing happen. I have no idea how realistic it is. San Francisco makes a ton of sense for Deshaun Watson. That'd be terrifying for everybody else in the NFL because I really do think that they're just a quarterback away from winning like 2 or 3 Super Bowls. Um, but like we were saying before the show, like I can only think of 4 teams that shouldn't at least call Houston and see what it's going to take. Like Seattle, Kansas City, Buffalo, and the Chargers. Those are the only 4 teams I think that shouldn't reach out and see what Houston's thinking about
Seattle, Kansas
for
City,
their.
Buffalo. I don't think the Cards. You say the Cardinals?
No, I would. Deshaun Watson is a total upgrade
I
from
don't know,
Kyler
man.
Murray.
Not that he's well. I think
Really?
Deshaun Watson right now is obviously better than Kyler Murray, but Kyler Murray is younger, and Kyler Murray showed a lot this year to me, and I think that
Man,
sky's the limit for that kid. So I wouldn't, if I had him, I wouldn't want to to do that. Uh, but everyone else, yeah, I mean, there's not really any other team that has a surefire quarterback.
yeah, like even looking at this list, like, dude, there's so many teams that would just be instantly better. Like Chicago,
Yeah.
fuck man, Chicago should do it. The Jets, the Colts, but like we
Yeah.
were saying, they're not going to trade.
Colts,
I don't think they're
Jaguars. I mean, shoot,
definitely
I'll
not going to
take
trade him.
Tennessee. We'll take Deshaun Watson. I love
Yeah,
Tannehill.
yeah, that's
You've been awesome, but let me go get Deshaun Watson. But they're not gonna do that.
you know what, you know what NFC team he makes the most sense for, and it's a shame because it's just
Who?
not going to happen.
The
The Rams.
Yeah. Well, the Rams have nothing to give
He
them.
would be, yeah, he would be perfect for what Sean McVay wants to do there. Which, I mean, fuck, man. We can also lightly touch on Sean McVay fucking throwing Jared Goff under the Hyperloop yesterday. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen. God, did you see his
No.
answer to that question? He was asked if Jared Goff was going to be his quarterback next year,
Oh, yikes.
something like that. And McVay was like, he's the quarterback of this team right now.
Did he hit that right now with
Yeah.
like with some
Yeah,
emphasis?
he did hit that right now with a little bit of yeah, I mean enough emphasis where you notice that he said right
Yikes.
now. Yeah, good
I
stuff.
hope the Rams are smart. I think they are. There are a few coaches like McVay are few and far between. And I mean, I know they're
no.
Oh, that's another story that happened this week was Doug Peterson getting let go. Which is
well,
that's ridiculous
man.
to me. Like, you can't take a team to the playoffs
Yeah, no,
4 out of 5 years, also win a Super Bowl. They build a trophy. I mean, a statue
They built
of
a
you outside.
Yeah, there's a statue of the dude
And
outside
then
that stadium.
you let him go after a bad season. Like, I don't know if they're doing that because he didn't want to continue with Wentz, and they do, or
Yeah. So that's kind of like when it happened, because if you look at the context of their last few seasons, like there was definitely something wrong. And I think that Peterson was too attached to his guys. So I can understand wanting to move on from him. But then an article comes out from the Philadelphia Inquirer, and it's literally just talking about how like Howie Roseman, the Eagles GM, has a Carson Wentz fathead in his office. And like apparently Wentz is just like the biggest bitch ever. Just fucking Peterson would call a play and Wentz would change it in the huddle out of spite.
and then throw an interception or fumble.
Yeah, like it does seem in retrospect that the problem there was not Doug Peterson. So it wouldn't shock me at all for him to just take some kind of offensive coordinator job this year and then get another head coaching job next year. But yeah, why would anyone want to go to that situation,
Carson
man?
Wentz was honestly only good when Frank Reich was his offensive coordinator. And after that,
I mean,
like, I don't care. I don't think the injury means anything at all. We saw Tom Brady completely blow out his knee and come back throwing the football just fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think part of it with Wentz too is that like the Eagles have not done him any favors in terms of personnel. Like his wide receiver group is not good.
Why, like, they got Deshaun Jackson and then they like barely used him.
Yeah, it's that's such a bad situation, man. I can't.
I know, but that was an example that there are a lot of NFL teams that do stupid things when with their coaching
Oh God,
staffs,
NFL teams are the
when things
dumbest,
aren't
man.
going their way at first, like for a little bit, all of a sudden they gotta like cut ties with the coach. Like no, like I hate to say it, but you know, organizations like the Pittsburgh Steelers, they stay relevant and they stay, you know, contending because they always have that continuity. There's been like what, four Steelers
Yeah,
coaches
yeah,
in
total.
total. I mean,
Yeah,
the Patriots' run of dominance was because they stuck with what they had and they let Belichick do Belichick. You know, like not enough teams want to wait and see the fruits of these coaches' labors, or they want to hang on
yeah.
to somebody who's clearly ran dry and never let them go. It's always one extreme or the other.
NFL teams don't understand sunk costs. Like that's why it was so surprising to me when the Cardinals actually like bit the bullet and took Kyler
Oh
Murray.
yeah, and got rid of Josh
Um,
Rosen. And they were just like, well, we messed
yeah,
up
like
last year.
NFL teams when you yeah, because that's the issue too with the Eagles and Wentz. Like they paid him all that money, so now they feel like, oh, we have to make this work. Um, but yeah, so no, it's they're gonna be okay because apparently they've been meeting with Josh McDaniels all day. And so anytime you have a chance to hire Josh McDaniels,
Great.
uh, gotta
Can't
gotta
wait for
take it,
him
man.
to accept the job in about a week, and then go right back to the
Which is
Patriots
like,
the next week.
oh my god, dude. Can you imagine 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whenever it was,
Listen,
like turning down the Colts job and then like you're the next job you get a chance at is the fucking Eagles job that
listen.
nobody wants.
Who in the entire world has the opportunity to do what McDaniels does every single year? Accept
Mm.
jobs and then cancel and go back
And it's
and
like it's
and
fucking Josh
still get
McDaniels,
job
man.
offers. Like people still want to try and hire this man.
Ooh. Oh my god, and did you see during the game today Tom Brady tried to high five
Oh
a
yeah,
ref?
we need to.
That's the next that's the next Saints fan
Well,
conspiracy right
I
there.
saw an article already trying to cover that up, and it was saying that Tom Brady was trolling the ref, but we know what was really happening. We know.
Yeah, no, we know.
Yeah,
He slipped him a 20.
he's telling him good
It's
job.
whew. Who dat nation, baby. We never accept defeat. But yeah, I can't fuck, man. I know it's gonna happen too. As soon as I get that Schefter notification that like Deshaun Watson's been traded to the Dolphins or something like that, it's just my God. How could an organization screw that up that
I
bad?
mean, they've been doing it forever since they came
Like
into existence.
they're
They've
gonna
ruined careers.
back to back years, they're going to trade fucking uh they're gonna trade DeAndre Hopkins for a fucking running back, and they're gonna trade fucking Deshaun Watson. Like
I mean,
I
we
do
could. They
not get it.
wasted Andre Johnson's career.
Wasted,
Wasted
man.
an incredible wide receiver. He torched my Titans often, and he was amazing. And they wasted his
Yep.
career. David Carr, they tried to kill. He was actually a very
uh,
quality quarterback. Like he would have been so nice if he was in a different situation. And they let
yep.
his bell get rung like 300 times in his first 3 seasons, and to the point where if he had a clean pocket, he was scared and just chucked it. Like
Dude.
they're into
Yeah,
ruining
that's
careers. That's just kind of what they do in Houston.
oh man. Yeah, no, that's fuck, man. And we all thought it was just Bill
No,
O'Brien,
it's
but
the whole
no.
thing. Yeah,
No, it's the whole
Bill
thing.
was definitely he's held accountable, but
Well, see, that's what's funny is like Bill O'Brien wasn't a bad head coach. He was just a
mhm.
bad GM. And you can't give your coach a GM power because then if the fucking if you start losing, then he's gonna panic and like, trade a top two wide receiver for
Now,
a
who's
running
been
back or something like that.
successful as a GM and a coach in any sport?
Just
Yeah.
Belichick, man. That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head.
Like that's it. I can't.
And even then, I guess the guy the Texans just hired, Nick Caserio, I guess he's been doing most of the GM work, and in recent years. So I mean, yeah, it's those jobs are incompatible because if the coach starts fucking up or if the GM starts fucking up, then the coach is going to panic and vice versa.
I feel
It's
like
just,
in New England though, even if he did Belichick step back a little bit off of making those decisions, it was a culture, you know, like they literally could have put any name in there that's been around that system and he would do the exact same things. So, but yeah, it doesn't work. So I don't understand why these teams in every sport decide to keep trying to do it.
Yeah, no, it's God, dude. And it's just like the Texans fans should be allowed to just change teams, leave, whatever they want to do. Not that anyone should give a shit in the first place. Like, I don't know. I think it's so lame to like worry about what other people like. Like, who cares, man? But like, my God, you don't owe them anything. You really don't. Just because they're in Houston doesn't mean you have to like them. Just go be a Cowboys fan or something like that.
Going that far, but I mean,
Jesus.
You know.
Well, it's not like the Cowboys are any good either.
Listen, Houston, LA didn't have a team forever. All of my friends have random teams. The Raiders, Packers, Broncos, whoever's popular. So just do that.
Raiders is the only one that like when we were growing up made sense because like they at least had been in Los Angeles. But like there's so many Vikings fans out here. There's so many Steelers fans, Packers fans. I only know one
Vikings fan.
Dude, there are a ton of Vikings bars in Los Angeles. It's nuts. And they get packed.
All I ever hear is Broncos, Packers, and Raiders. Those are usually the teams. Oh, and Cowboys, of course. Cowboys, Steelers as well.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. Meanwhile, I grew up with the team that was in San Diego, and then moved here, and now they suck me back in. Just when you think you're out,
come back.
I mean, to anybody listening, it won't matter, but you can buy Captain Toad Treasure Tracker for $4.99 total from Walmart right now.
What the hell is that?
it's a game for the Nintendo Switch, man.
You still play that thing?
I think it's normally like, hey, look, it's normally like $40 to buy this game, and I got it for $4.99, so I'm not going to complain too much.
Pick it up. Is it co-op online or what?
There you go. Nah, dude. I mean, I don't remember what it's from, but you remember like, I think it was in Super Mario Odyssey or maybe
that
3D
Captain
World,
Toad's
but like
thing. Oh,
yeah. You got to like play with the map to change the levels and stuff like that. That's like a whole game like that.
Nah, pass. I think I said pass when I saw it when it first dropped. I'm gonna have to say pass now.
Oh man.
But yeah, I think that's it for our show today. Wanna thank everyone who's listening. We're gonna keep coming at you with content every week. Every Monday we're gonna be going over the week that was and what we think's gonna happen going forward.
The week that was in the world of sports. I guess, the number one thing is that Drew Brees is gone, everybody.
We made it. We made
Drew
it
Brees
out of
gone.
an era.
We don't.
Oh, man. Well, thank you. Until next time. Peace.
See.
Bearded Kingface. Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
We the best of the best. Not too many top-notch podcasts left. We don't even need much time to prep. Never ever know what we gon' do next, but real recognize real, you see. So please tell me that you're feeling me, cause I can smell jealousy from a mile away, and there's no space for that on the show today. Might hurt a couple feelings, but so what? It'll be a good story to tell when we blow up. Try to shut us down, you gon' have no luck, cause we locked in and we tryna get the whole cut. So just vibe, look alive, pay homage, we arrive. We ain't going nowhere, so so fall back. Legendary anthem like Left Eye and all that. Unpopular opinion, I'll swagger on a million. Immaculate civilians, adapting like chameleons. Be cautious in our dominion. Banks all around us on Vivian. Taking off like balloons filled with helium. Got cheese and bread, Sicilian. Unpopular opinion, unpopular.